working days left. The biggest constitutional crisis.
That's divided on the subject of what Brexit should be.
It's like a bazaar, that's what it's like, isn't it? And of course these people have to be here, this is a big story, but I don't think anyone's going to find any of the answers.
It's fun to see how it's done, like behind the scenes for once, you know?
Just going round and round in circles. I'll be here every night for like a year.
But you sell the stories, right? That's how journalism works.
I know, but stories have a beginning, a middle and an end. We're not even in the middle yet.
You don't know.
No.
Maybe it's more like a horseshoe.
Wow.
It looks like a circle, but it has a beginning and it has an end. But you feel like it's the same place.
That's deep, man. I'm glad I met you. They would have been good. It's always like jumping in a very cold swimming pool. You just don't want to do it. Excuse me, what do you think of Brexit at the minute?
I knew you was going to say it.
You knew? Why else would we be here?
I'm absolutely sick of it.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm sick to the teeth of it.
Right, we're in the pool now. I just wonder what you think about Brexit at the minute.
I don't know. I'm not sure. What you think about it?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I'm pretty worried.
You're worried about it?
Yeah.
It's very confusing now, that's all.
Nobody seems to know what's going on, and just every channel you turn it on telly, that's all they talk about. Just fed up with talking about it.
I feel sorry for Theresa May, but I don't think she's quite got it.
She was chucked into a job.
Yeah, because David Cameron messed up, but I wouldn't want Boris Johnson either. He's another twat, isn't he?
The way they keep on and on about it, I think you'd be better just staying as you are, staying in.
Really? Blimey. What, is that to say you changed your mind?
Well,
it's the most obvious thing in the world to say that the country's divided. We know that. That was what the referendum result was all about. But it's divided in another way now. It's divided between people like me who are obsessed with Brexit and a hell of a lot of other people who really think this was something that happened 2 years ago. And they, for very understandable reasons, they can't quite fathom why it's dragging on. People here may be bored, but as with so many places, Brexit may have real consequences for Cowley. Well, that's what comes out of that factory. Great British icon, the Mini, now made by a German company, BMW. In a break from the usual production cycle, BMW have said they'll shut the factory for a month on Brexit Day to allow them to prepare for a possible no-deal scenario. We need to get in here. BMW won't let us into the factory, so we hang around outside in search of local wisdom.
Are you making a travelogue of Cowley?
Trying.
I think the fundamental problem with Brexit is there are too many set positions.
Yeah.
I mean, it is not insoluble. The only insoluble thing at the moment is her absurd adamantine resistance to what all normal people do, which is have flexibility of thought.
I've never had a high-end conversation involving the adjective adamantine in an industrial estate.
Right,
This is a first. What do you do for a living?
I teach Shakespeare and things like that.
Theresa May did geography at Oxford.
I'm Cameron PPE at Brasenose.
Hold on, Boris Johnson went to Oxford. Jacob Rees-Mogg went to Oxford. He was there when I was.
Yes.
Maybe it's all Oxford's fault, all this.
I know. I mean, in Cambridge they spy, and in Oxford they just mess everything up.
This is some big sort of food logistics hub. This is the alfresco area.
Well, we can help you. We own this place.
This is your depot. And how do you feel about Brexit?
Well, it's not. Is the problem is already a big problem here about the the people working here.
How short are you?
Oh, I tell you, we place order for around 30 people, and we get hardly 15 or 20. Wow. No business can afford like this.
Do you worry about it?
A lot.
What? Like you lose sleep?
Of course.
Thank you so much, sir. Anyway,
if someone wants to deliver a 40-foot container somewhere, it was before Brexit 400 pounds, for an example. Now it has gone to literally double due to the scarcity of drivers.
Did you vote in the referendum yourself?
Yes.
How did you vote?
This is my personal question. Yes, I did vote for Brexit.
You voted for Brexit?
Yeah. I changed my mind.
I bet you have.
Yes. What? We have been said we will gain 350 million and so much of jobs and we can take back our control.
Well, they were telling you lies.
They were telling, but we believe it.
Sort of Farage food, isn't it? Where's the point, right? Mr. Farage, if you want your Coleman's mustard and your Marmite and your tartar sauce, it's immigrants who move it around. And if they say, oh, well, British people can do the jobs.
We should do the job. I started as a trolley man myself when I came in this country, in the cash and carry, and I managed that branch after 7 years.
Where did you come from?
India. If the people work hard, come here, not come here for the benefit, then it's good.
Where are you going today?
Take down the Dover docks to drop this off onward transport to go in.
All right.
Yeah. Right, and where did you wake up this morning?
I parked near Guildford last night.
And what about where Brexit sits in your head at the minute?
Chaos. We don't know what's around the corner. If customs procedures come in on March the 29th at 11 p.m, we can't do it and tread water, let alone make a profit.
Well, we've hitched the lift with this guy here. I'm just hoping he sort of remembers and stops and lets one of us in the cab with him. Right, see you in Dover. We normally try and follow a meaningful narrative, some kind of story. But the politics of Brexit are chaotic and fragmented because the country's in that state. And that's reflected in our journey.
I don't think people fully understand how intertwined economies have become. You just look around the motorway now and see how many are on foreign plates. Great Britain, self-sufficient. We're not that these days. If you look at the refrigerated trucks going out of Dover, I would say probably 8 out of 10 of them are going out empty, and they all come back in loaded. And so, okay, long term it might be okay. It all might sound a bit strange, but Europe almost protects us from our own government at times, workers' rights and things. But everything seems to be moving more to the right across the world. I don't know. People talk about Winston Churchill and a bulldog spirit. Well, didn't he go all out to unite Europe?
And how do you feel about the prospect of spending long stints on traffic jams and stuff?
To be honest, I've got to a point now. I carry my food. There's a microwave fitted to the truck. I've got a fridge. I don't get stressed out about these things anymore. I recline the seat and go to sleep. Cheers, fellas.
If you sort of want to understand many of the reasons why Brexit happened, England hits you with it as soon as you get here. Now we're making a film about, well, it's a long story. We've ended up in Dover.
I've been homeless for a long time, and I can't get help from the council.
How long have you been homeless for?
4 years.
We came here because of Brexit, you see.
What is Brexit?
You know about Brexit?
No. No. I
Really?
don't. No, I don't actually.
Well, it's the very complicated business of Britain leaving the European Union, which is meaning that all politicians think about or can think about is Brexit,
Okay.
and so perhaps the predicament of people like yourself is being forgotten.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, they don't give a shit.
That's one translation of it. No, that's fair dues. That is absolutely fair comment. Have you got any money to eat and stuff like that?
Nope. They stopped my benefit because I missed an appointment because I ended up in hospital, and because I didn't get no paperwork, they stopped my benefit.
When did that happen?
A week ago. I've got 3 months to go before I get any money. You've got people sleeping down the seafront, on the beach, in huts. It's disgusting.
I sort of hesitate to say this, but there's an awful symbol of Britain in 2019. The last thing on the land before you get to the English Channel is a tent where a homeless person's living. I don't know, I suppose I feel so anxious about the future of the country at the minute that I sort of find symbolism everywhere. I think everybody does. Like, oh, there's a sign of where Britain's going or whatever. As divided as Britain probably is, there are still spaces where people of all shapes, sizes, backgrounds gather to talk. And this is probably the most visible. Wetherspoons.
No one speaks to each other in it. No one ever speaks to each other in Wetherspoons.
Really?
No, we all come in for the cheap.
Right, I'll take it back.
And we sit alone, we sit down, and we don't try and create any untoward feelings between each other because it is a social space. So we don't talk about Brexit in here, we don't talk politics, we don't even talk to each other.
That's about to change, in a way.
Tim, right, excellent to see you, my friend.
Right,
Do you mind if I had a photo with you?
No. Hello. Can you hear me okay? We leave on the 29th of March without a deal. We'll be much better off, in my opinion, by saving the 39 billion better off on day one.
Wetherspoons founder and chairman Tim Martin is touring his own pubs, making the case for no deal.
Is that if you say you must have a deal at all costs, you take away your bargaining power.
Stop trying to con the public, Tim.
Yeah.
Stop trying to con the public.
For God's sake, let the man speak. Stop pushing me around.
Well, shut up then.
Well, then stop pushing him around.
No, it's all right.
For God's sake, listen to the man.
Believe it or not.
You're a liar. Do you want to listen? Do you want to listen to the lies? Yeah, well, please, let's listen.
This was 15 years ago.
Keep your hands off me.
60% of the fish, they can sell them to the EU or to other people who will buy. They'll certainly be short of fish.
Just remind ourselves what's going on here. It's not 11 o'clock yet. I'm in a pub and people are having a fierce confrontational argument about international trade tariffs.
We are not here to listen to you. We're listening to him. So shut up.
No, that's not
what
he
for God's sake.
I don't think they are at risk. We would...
This is Remain Corner.
It's a Remain country.
But this is also Remain Corner.
Is it Remain Corner? Yes.
Remain country, that's right.
Yes.
My children lived abroad for 9 years, okay? 6 years in Belgium, 3 years in Spain. They're multilingual. Why should we have our freedom of movement taken away?
It's nice to be in upmarket surroundings. Doesn't happen very often.
Look around.
Yeah.
What do you do? So we are a mobile app for language learning.
You're making the world smaller and more connected.
More connected, absolutely. We allow people to understand other cultures much better.
In difficult times.
In difficult times.
In London, do you feel you're kind of part of a community of maybe European tech people?
Yeah. There is a strong community here where you feel like you interact with everyone. You feel really, really welcome. Everyone is really open. There is kind of no barrier between everyone.
This is how it should work. Okay? So if we look at the matters in minority.
Why did you come to London?
Because we thought London is the best place in Europe to have a fast-growing startup.
How do you feel now?
Slightly different. We need to hire loads of people. And it's very hard to get access to talent already in the UK. So in the past, we hired a lot of people from Europe. If you're now a 25-year-old mobile developer in Madrid, why would you come here? I mean, the pound has gone down by 20% since Brexit.
You know, when this whole Brexit thing started, I felt like an immigrant for the first time in my life.
The one story I had on the street, where I was talking in German on the phone, and an old lady, very well dressed, came up to me and told me, "Speak in fucking English." I was like, what? I was a bit shocked, to be honest.
I wonder, you see, whether some of the explanation for Brexit lies in the fact that in large swathes of the country, there aren't businesses like yours.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. This needs to be spread around, and it's not.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think technology is currently spreading across the UK. And that's why also this country needs to move on from Brexit, because there's so many other important topics that this country has to solve. I mean, AI, machine learning. There's so much legislation. So here we go. No one can hear him, and he can have his privacy. Looks great. Can I hear you?
That's a metaphor for Brexit. An instant feeling of entrapment and confusion. I felt it in there. I'm going back out into the world. Just visited the future. Not somewhere we go very often.